TILT Creative, Désiré Mirelux.
Hello. You're listening to TILT Creative, the UK's most diverse branding podcast, exploring the rabbit hole where business meets life, with your favorite podcast host, Désiré Roberts. Before we get into it, I just want to shout out my business here, TILT Creative, which has enabled me to do amazing work and gives my career a platform that enriches me. TILT Creative is a strategic brand development consultancy providing consulting and coaching to entrepreneurs who are just getting started, small businesses who want to grow into the medium-sized sector, and large corporations that need to deepen their connection with their customers to strengthen their competitive edge. With our framework, you can increase your revenue by 20% in 12 months. Check out the website and book a free, no obligation, 15-minute consultation, and we can guide you to the service that best suits your needs. Link is in the show notes. Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Tilt. It's your favorite podcast host, Désiré Roberts, branding consultant of TILT Creative. And it feels so good to be back here. This episode is a little bit longer than usual, but I promise it's absolutely worth it. Today, we're going to talk about something that's close to every entrepreneur's heart: failure. We all know the famous saying, fail fast, fail often. But let's be real, failing can be tough. It can leave you feeling discouraged and unmotivated, especially when you're on the startup journey. But guess what? It's not the end of the road. In fact, failure can be a valuable learning experience that can help you grow and improve your business. That's why in today's episode, we're going to dive into the topic of failure and how to keep going, especially for all you entrepreneurs and startup founders out there. We'll be discussing the different types of failures you might encounter, the importance of a growth mindset, and strategies for moving forward after failure. So sit back, relax, and join us on this tilted journey of learning from failure and staying resilient on the entrepreneur road. Let's go. Oh man, let me tell you, I've had my fair share of failure. Failed ideas, lost money, recession wrecking my business, illness killing my career, you name it, I've been there. But you know what? Failure is one of the most important things in my life. I know, I'm crazy, right? But hear me out. When I fail, I learn so much. It's like I'm collecting data to work with. That's why I'm all about the fail fast method when it comes to my ventures. I'm a very hands-on learner, so this approach works best for me. Plus, I'm straight up terrified of getting paralyzed in the planning stage. I'm a natural perfectionist and I know my weaknesses. But hey, I'm lucky to be in a position to be able to take risks. I'm fully aware that not all founders have this luxury. So yeah, failure isn't always fun, but it's absolutely necessary for growth, and I love it. When we talk about failure in the context of entrepreneurship, it's important to note that there are different types of failures that entrepreneurs may experience. These can be product failures, market failures, team failures, and more. Product failures occur when a product that an entrepreneur has developed does not meet the needs or the expectations of the market. This can happen for a variety of reasons, such as poor market research, a lack of understanding of the target audience, or issues with the product itself. Market failures, on the other hand, occur when there is no market for the product or service that an entrepreneur has developed. This can happen when the market's oversaturated, the product is too niche, or there simply is no demand for it. Team failures can occur when there's a lack of communication, poor leadership, or a lack of skills within the team. This can lead to poor performance, missed deadlines, and ultimately failure of the venture. It's important to note that failure is not always a bad thing. In fact, it can be a very valuable learning experience that can help entrepreneurs grow and improve their business. Some of the most successful entrepreneurs have experienced failures before achieving success. Take Steve Jobs, for instance. He was famously fired from Apple, the company he co-founded, in 1985. However, he went on to found Next Computer and Pixar Animation Studios, both of which were successful ventures. He eventually returned to Apple and led the company to become one of the most successful and innovative tech companies in the world. Another example is Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She started her company with just $5,000 and faced numerous rejections from investors before finally finding success. She has said that she has learned valuable lessons from her failures and used them to improve her product and her pitch. Failure is not easy. It can be discouraging and demotivating, but it's important for entrepreneurs to understand that it's a natural part of the process. It's how we handle failure that determines whether we will ultimately succeed or not. A growth mindset is essential for overcoming failure. This mindset involves viewing failure as an opportunity for learning and growth rather than a setback. Entrepreneurs with a growth mindset are more likely to bounce back from failure and continue on their entrepreneurial journey. One strategy for moving forward after failure is to conduct a postmortem. This involves examining what went wrong, why it went wrong, and what can be learned from the experience. This information can then be used to improve the product or service, the marketing strategy, or the team dynamic, however you want to look at it. We all know that failure is an unavoidable part of the entrepreneurial journey. But what if I told you there's a way to turn your setbacks into opportunities for growth? That's where the concept of a growth mindset comes in. So, what exactly is a growth mindset? It's the belief that your abilities and qualities can be developed through hard work and dedication. In other words, you see failure not as a reflection of your inherent abilities, but as a chance to improve and learn. One of the biggest benefits of a growth mindset is resilience. When you have a growth mindset, you're better equipped to handle setbacks and challenges because you see them as opportunities to learn and grow. You don't give up when things get tough. Instead, you keep pushing forward and find new ways to adapt and overcome. Basically, you learn to pivot. And once you can pivot, well, you can pretty much do anything. Another benefit of a growth mindset is adaptability. When you believe that your abilities can be developed, you're more open to new ideas and new ways of doing things. You're not stuck in your ways. You're willing to pivot when necessary to achieve your goals. This is crucial for entrepreneurs who need to be able to adapt quickly to changes in the market or unexpected challenges. A growth mindset also means that you're willing to learn from your mistakes. You don't see failure as something to be ashamed of or something that defines you. Instead, you see it as an opportunity to improve. This willingness to learn and grow is essential for entrepreneurs who need to be constantly evolving and improving to stay competitive. So how do you develop a growth mindset? It's not always easy, especially if you're used to seeing failure as a negative thing. So I've got a few tips to help you get started. Reframe failures as opportunities for growth. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of your abilities, try to see it as a chance to learn and improve. Ask yourself what you can do differently next time or what you learned from the experience. Focus on progress, not perfection. This one is particularly hard for me to do because I am a natural-born perfectionist. It's easy to get caught up in trying to do everything perfectly, but this can actually hold you back. Instead, focus on making progress and improving a little bit every single day. Consistency is actually key here. Surround yourself with positivity. The people you surround yourself with can have a huge impact on your mindset. Seek out people who believe in you and support your goals, and avoid those who are negative or bring you down. Embrace challenges. When things get tough, don't shy away from the challenge. Instead, embrace it as an opportunity to grow and learn. And keep learning. A growth mindset means you're always open to new ideas and ways of doing things. Keep learning and seeking out new information and experiences to help you grow as an entrepreneur. Now that you know what a growth mindset is and how it can benefit you as an entrepreneur, it's time to start cultivating this mindset in your own life. Remember, failure is just a part of the journey. And with a growth mindset, you can turn those setbacks into opportunities for growth and success. Keep pushing forward, stay positive, and never stop learning. When you experience failure, it can be really tempting to give up and just abandon your goals. However, failure is an inevitable part of the journey, and successful entrepreneurs understand that it is not the end of the road. Instead, they use failure as a learning experience and as an opportunity to improve their business. So, here are some strategies that I found for bouncing back from failure and continuing to move forward. Analyze what went wrong. One of the most important things to do after experiencing failure is to take a step back and analyze what went wrong. This means looking at the situation objectively and identifying the factors that contributed to the failure. By doing this, you can learn from your mistakes and make changes to your business model or strategy to prevent similar failures in the future. Seek feedback. So this is another important strategy for bouncing back, and this feedback can come from mentors, advisors, or even customers. By listening to that feedback, you can gain valuable insights into what you did wrong and what you can do better in the future. And here is my favorite one: pivot. Sometimes failure is a sign that the current business model or strategy just isn't working. In this case, it may be necessary to pivot or change direction. This can mean shifting the focus of the business, targeting a different market, or even changing the product or service being offered. Pivoting requires entrepreneurs to be flexible and open to change, but it can also be a powerful way to turn failure into success. So just on a side note, this is literally what I did with my business recently. I saw that there was a need for me to change what I do. I saw a gap, I saw an opportunity, and I pivoted my company, literally did like complete 180, and I moved into consulting and podcasting, which is completely the opposite of what I was doing last year. But I decided it was time. I looked at the market. I thought I might as well just try it. And that is a real life example of a pivot. So here are some examples of entrepreneurs besides me who turned failure into success. After being fired from Apple, the company he co-founded, Steve Jobs went on to start Next Computer and Pixar Animation Studios. Next was then acquired by Apple, and Jobs returned to lead the company into unprecedented success. James Dyson famously created 5,127 prototypes of his vacuum cleaner before finally getting it right. His company, Dyson, now has a range of successful products, including the Airblade hand dryer and the supersonic hair dryer. After struggling to find comfortable and flattering undergarments to wear under white trousers, Sarah Blakely created Spanx. She faced numerous rejections and setbacks before finally finding success, and her company is now worth over $1 billion. Throughout this podcast, I've discussed the importance of failure in the entrepreneurial journey. I've explored different types of failures that you might experience and the benefits of a growth mindset in overcoming failure. I've also shared some strategies for bouncing back from failure, such as analyzing what went wrong and pivoting. But as entrepreneurs, it's crucial to understand that failure is not the end, but rather a valuable learning opportunity that can lead to growth and success. By reframing failure as an opportunity for growth and implementing strategies to bounce back and keep going, you can overcome adversity and achieve your goals. To all the entrepreneurs out there, keep pushing forward, embrace failure, and learn from your mistakes. Remember, success is not a destination, but a journey, and failure is just a stepping stone on that path. As Thomas Edison once famously said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." So keep going, never give up on your dreams. And now that you've spent all of this time listening to me, I want to listen to you. Please find me on LinkedIn and tell me your story. I want to hear about your failures and what you learned from them. Thank you for listening, and I really hope to hear your story soon. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that episode. Thank you for listening and joining us as we journey into the tilted rabbit hole where business meets life. I just wanted to remind you that we have a bunch of free resources on the Tilt Creative website, and we have an entrepreneur support group on LinkedIn called the SME Shoutout Hour Group, which will give you access to the live shows and so much more. And if you want to be a guest on the podcast or want to speak on the live show on Sundays, all of the details are on the Tilt website. The link is in the show notes. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, share my content, and if you haven't already, please leave a 5-star review, as it really helps the podcast reach more people. Have an awesome week and remember to go full tilt.